RCS messaging support.
On June 10th, 2024, Apple has officially confirmed that RCS is coming in iOS 18. This has sparked excitement among some people. In this video, we will be discussing why RCS will still quote-unquote ruin group chats. Green bubbles have been bullied by Gen Z iPhone users ever since iMessage came to be in 2011. According to explodingtopics.com, Gen Z and millennials are more likely to be iPhone users, and 47% of former Android users say that iPhones provide better user experience. Because of this, it is given that US iPhone users are more likely to use the built-in Messages app instead of alternative texting apps like WhatsApp or Telegram. Group chats with iPhone users use iMessage, otherwise known as the blue bubbles by Gen Z iPhone users. If you use a group chat with an Android user prior to iOS 18, it will use SMS, which is otherwise known as the green bubbles by Gen Z iPhone users. The first thing is the green bubble effect. RCS messages in group chats will still be green. This will give the effect that group chats are still quote-unquote ruined when they still support full resolution message sharing, emoji reactions, and more. However, give it a couple of years and this placebo effect can completely wear out. Now, something else we need to consider is how many people will be updating to iOS 18 on day 1. If a friend group creates a group chat even just a few weeks after iOS 18 comes out, the group chat will still be an SMS group chat if there's just one iOS 17 or older user. This is because RCS will not be supported on iOS 17. Every user, in order to create an RCS group chat, will need at least iOS 18 or a version of Android that supports RCS. Now, we do not know yet if SMS group chats will automatically convert once the RCS criteria is met, but not everyone updates their phones. According to Apple, as of making this video, only 77% of all active iPhones around the world use iOS 17. Only 77%. Now, I know iOS 18 will likely be seen as a much more hype update. More people will probably update as soon as possible than with iOS 17, but this reason will eventually become irrelevant as more iOS versions release and more people update. Now, why now? Why else would Apple add RCS when Tim Cook joked,
"Buy your mom an iPhone"?
back in 2022? Well, it seems like China regulations are forcing Apple to add RCS. Why would they bring it to the rest of the world and not just China? Well, Apple knows that they will get major criticism more than sideloading in the EU, because let's be real, sideloading on the iPhone is pretty dangerous. Forcing iPhone to SMS communication, on the other hand, is more dangerous than doing iPhone RCS, which is why RCS has ended up coming to the rest of the world. On iOS 18 Beta 2, we got a server-side update that added RCS to every iPhone running the beta software. I have iOS 18 on my main device. One of the things I immediately discovered once it was enabled for me was that RCS was disabled for half of the Android users in my contacts list. And no, these are real peoples, not companies that do SMS promotional messaging. I eventually dug deep as to why, and I found out RCS is only used on Android if the user's default messaging app is Google Messages. This means that if the user chooses to use Samsung Messages or literally any other messaging app for their texting, then RCS will not be enabled for them and they will still ruin the group chat. Now, let's say the latest OS adoption rate ended up not being an issue, and everyone knows that RCS got added to iOS 18. And everybody switched over to Google Messages, which is highly unrealistic. There is still one thing holding back RCS group chats from being good that iMessage group chats are still a lot better at. Have you ever heard of this one app? It's called Game Pigeon. It is one of the things holding back RCS group chats. In fact, all iMessage apps are not supported with RCS, and they are used pretty often. In fact, iOS 18 we got some new iMessage only features. Playful effects can be applied on a per character basis. This is one of the new iMessage features that are not available in RCS. You know these stickers in iMessage? They are not supported in RCS either. What is stopping Apple from introducing an overhaul to group chats in iOS 19 or maybe 20? It's likely would make it impossible for some of these new features to come to RCS group chats. And this is the one thing in iMessage group chats that are superior to RCS. In conclusion, RCS might be ignored, at least for the first couple of months. Green bubble bias will still be present, unfortunately, because I would not be surprised if they do not mention RCS in the release notes at all in iOS 18, or they might bury it very deep in the release notes. At some point, people might finally realize that iOS 18 fixed Android to iPhone messaging. People might not update to iOS 18 at least right away, but by the time that is done, Apple might have already introduced features that make RCS not good once again, and make iMessage the king. Now my take on it is that RCS was my most requested feature for iOS 18. I did not show it in my wishlist video for iOS 18 because I knew it was already coming, and I wanted features that were not already confirmed to be in that video. Yes, RCS will improve individual chatting, but iMessage group chats will still be the standard for US iPhone users. I wish this was the case, but unfortunately, as someone who follows Apple, I know this could very well be the case. Thanks for watching, comment, subscribe, share this with your friends, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!